Check, check. I need to make sure that the YouTube stream is not using the internal microphone to this, but is using a. Where do you change your audio inputs to this thing? You don't know?
I use a program for it.
I may have you.
At least look a bit.
Yeah, that's not it.
Truth be told, my advice to you is use streaming software.
I may end up having to do that. Okay. And
that will give you much finer control over that stuff.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to watch a fucking video. Well, that's great. Hi there. Just want to let you know I've got NetLogger up and running. I'm Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get the audio. What did this thing just do? My computer just did something really weird. I hate it when things don't work the way they're supposed to, you know? Okay, NetLogger. All right, is it going to work? Okay, this one. It's now my other thing's not working here. Well, this is just freaking awful. Awesome. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to make the YouTube audio work with the stuff that it's supposed to, but it doesn't seem to allow you to change the audio input. So this is going to be awesome. Can you, let's see. It looks like there's somebody watching at the moment. Can you hear me? Give me a, well, I don't know who you are. So are you on the YouTube screen, Kat? Yes, you, Kat. Okay. Matthew Fowler says, I can hear you. Can you hear the radio, Matthew? Can you hear the radio coming through? Probably not. Okay. Yeah, it's in the link. I really want to be able to feed the radio directly into the stream, but it's not letting me. Sounds like a kid on the radio. All right. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it the way I want to, so I'll do it this way. Okay, Kat, thanks. All right, talk to you in a bit. Bye. Yeah, go Chiefs, man.
Oh, well, it's going to be a couple of days before I can do that with you guys.
I wish I could figure out how to make YouTube not use the webcam on the webcam's mic, but how to use my audio input. I have not been able to figure out how to do that, and I thought I had it fixed. So actually, there's one more thing I can try.
Had a lot of trouble hearing you on that one, but Daddy's got to get back to work, okay?
Oh, very cute. Choose your output device. Yes. Oh, okay. Maybe this is it. Okay. I'm going to go to that. Okay. We're going to do that. Okay. The radio is going to be a little noisy there. Let's see. And then I need to move this up. Can you guys hear the radio now? Can you guys hear the radio now and hear me in this microphone? And that should have done it. Can you guys hear the radio? Somebody respond in the chat room. Okay, I'm going to try talking to is this audio very low? Is this audio very low? I am totally new at this and trying several different things. Is the audio okay? The radio is a lot better. That's good. Kat, can you and I have a Q song on the radio here real quick? W0KPH. Let me see. Let's go this way instead. All right, W0KPH from KE0VH. Kat, can you copy me on the radio here? Okay, so the microphone is good, Lonnie. You're hearing this microphone okay? Okay, very good. And Lonnie on YouTube there, could you hear Kat on the radio just then? KE0VH. Claire will be starting the net here in about 7 minutes. Radio low background. Of course, there's nobody there here at the moment. All right, we'll give this a shot as we're going. All right, let's see. Let me make sure I've got that radio pot turned up. Okay. Okay, Lonnie, one more time. Oh, it squeaks. One more time. Can you hear me here on the big microphone? Lonnie or Matthew, can y'all hear me now on the big microphone? I don't think I've got the webcam audio going. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right. Well, I'm still not sure, 100% sure if it's the webcam audio picking me up or what. I'm not. I don't really see how to. YouTube is giving me no option to modify that, so I may have to try some other software here. Why don't they give you any way to modify that? Okay, we'll have to do that later. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started here with the Monday night SkyHubLink system-wide net. Good evening. This is Jack, KE0VH. I am located in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, and we have this net here every Monday night to discuss amateur radio and other interesting topics. SkyHubLink is not a closed system in any way. We welcome all users in the true spirit of amateur radio. Please remember, during all use of this multi-mode linking system, allow 3 to 5 seconds between transmissions and 1.5 seconds for key up and then begin speaking. Also, remember to keep that PTT push to half second or so after your last word. When more than 2 people are using the repeaters as well, please set up a rotation so that you won't be doubling over other parties on the round table. Remember, you're on many repeaters and modes simultaneously. Good amateur operating practice is remembering that others might need to use one of the many repeaters on the system during your QSO or join in on your topic. Let me reset. All right. It's very important to remember, too, that if you're operating a hotspot on SkyHubLink when you're in the YSF mode, that you do not enable the Wires X pass-through. Do not operate your radio in Wires X mode to change reflectors when you're connected to SkyHubLink. Do use the web interface of your Pi-Star hotspot to change reflectors. If you operate with the YSF pass-through and control the Pi-Star with your radio while you're connected to the US SkyHubLink reflector 92722, then it can cause disconnects and link issues. Please do not use this feature of your hotspot when you're connected to SkyHubLink. Also, we ask that you do not kerchunk a repeater to test to see if you're keying it up. Please do, however, come on and verbally ask for a radio check. Kerchunking the system can cause link issues and is really illegal as it's an unidentified transmission. Once again, to see if you're making the repeater, actually come on and ask for a radio check. And please, too, when you're monitoring the system, if you hear someone ask for that radio check, be sure to respond. Let me break for a reset here. And remember, the SkyHubLink is also here for safety and assistance for any communication needs, including emergencies. If you hear someone call for assistance or emergency help on a SkyHubLink repeater, you can dial your local 911 number, report that you're an amateur radio operator and you've just received an emergency call, then give them the details, and they will contact the appropriate agency in the appropriate area. Also, if someone just needs to reach out for any kind of help, let's make sure that they receive the assistance needed. Is there any emergency traffic at this time? This is KE0VH. All right, let's see here. I got to bring back that. All right. This is a controlled net. All must check in to be recognized by NCS. We'll take a few check-ins and then do a roundtable of that list. Then we'll check another check-in list. Repeater owners and system operators will check you in first, and we'll take check-ins by call sign area. If you're listening on the internet stream, please text me with your name, location, and call sign to 303-704-3290. If you are watching on YouTube, I really appreciate that. However, I don't have time to watch the chat window for you to check in there. Go ahead and try to get through on the radio. I just do this kind of for fun. We've got a couple of people logged in right now, and if you're logged in, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. I would appreciate that. Let's see. We're once again just doing this for fun, and let's take real check-ins by the radio. And when you check in, let me reset real quick. All right. When you check in, only say your call sign phonetically twice. Not your name, not your location, but just your call sign phonetically twice. And please remember to facilitate the system keying up, allow a key up time of about 1.5 seconds before you begin speaking, and then hold that PTT a half second or so at the last syllable so that you don't get cut off. If net control misses you, then please stand by for the next round of check-ins. By the way, if you're listening on the analog 449-450 repeater in Denver, it does disconnect from the net in the system at about 8:26 for the Rocky Mountain Radio League Club net. We now have the 447.050 repeater back on the air from downtown Denver, and it really covers a huge footprint of the whole metro area. The PL tone is 103.5 and now helps with analog coverage once again here in the Denver metro area. So you can tune into that or tune into it right now or when 449-450 disconnects if you're analog only here in the Denver area. So let me break and we'll go ahead and get in some key announcements here. This is KE0VH. Okay, and once again, I am streaming the net tonight on YouTube just for fun. If you go to the Nets page at SkyHubLink.com, you can check in to you can check out the link there under the Monday Night Net, and you can click on the YouTube channel just for fun if you would like to see what the KE0VH Hamshack is. And actually, I'm celebrating the Chiefs. How about them Chiefs? I was so happy. The Broncos are, of course, my real favorite team, but doggone it, the Broncos haven't been doing that good for quite some time. So that being said, I always have been a real big Chiefs fan anyway, so it was always hard when they played the Broncos, and I was usually for the Broncos, but gotta love Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, and of course Travis Kelce, and without a doubt Patrick Mahomes. What an amazing quarterback at 27 years of age. So if you're a football fan like I am, I really enjoyed yesterday. Unless you're an Eagles fan, of course, and my condolences in that case. Yeah, the downtown Denver repeater 447.050 is on the air, full-time linked and connected now. We got the bugs out of that system. As a matter of fact, I think we got the bugs out of the entire SkyHubLink hub system. Skylar went down and installed all new software here this past Thursday, and it seems like the system has been pretty stable since then. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that that's the case from now on. And the latest news, you're going to be glad to know that we're putting a repeater on in Boulder. We're going to have a 447-175 frequency lit up to cover Boulder, and it's going to be kind of a unique one. The 900 megahertz repeater up on Lookout Mountain is going to serve as the link radio for the Boulder 447.175 repeater. We've lacked coverage down in Boulder for quite some time, and that's coming here within the next month and a half or two. And also the Parker 448.250 Wires X repeater will be on the air soon. I'll let you know more about that. So those are the official announcements for tonight. This is KE0VH. Let me take another reset. All right, then. Hey, Joe just came up on YouTube there. Don't forget, I will take your check-ins via radio tonight. I would like for those of you who are on YouTube to let me know when we start taking check-ins. I think I've got the audio patched in correctly. Next net that I'm here, I'm going to try a whole new system because I haven't had much success with the YouTube system. Being able to get the radio audio in there clean through a line input. So I hope to have that remedied here soon. But let's go ahead. And hello, Ken, K0UZ there on the YouTube stream. Glad to see you in there. And once again, we'll take your check-ins by radio. If you are a system operator or a repeater owner, let's get you checked in now. Please call KE0VH with your call sign and only your call sign phonetically twice. Y'all watching on YouTube there, did you hear Alpha Echo 7 Romeo Juliet check in through the radio at that time? All right, I'm going to stop here for just a minute. Alpha Echo 7, Romeo Juliet. Okay, it's not working the way I need it to, so we'll have to unplug that, and we'll go this way. Alpha Echo 7, Romeo Juliet. Yeah, Steven, how about those Chiefs on YouTube? That's great. Got you, Randall, but there was another station in there, and it looked like you came through the VK2 DY, Kellyville Ridge, New South Wales, Australia link. Your audio was horribly distorted, and I was not able to copy you at all. Will you please come back and try again?
This is still Echo 5 Charlie in Virginia, and I have an echo. I don't know if maybe there's an echo like this.
All right, let's try that one more time. Please give me your call sign and only your call sign phonetically twice. Do it slowly, please, because your audio is really, really muddy, and I'm having a really hard time. I think I heard Kilo Echo 5, but I'm not sure. Let's try you one more time before we move on. KE0VH, go ahead.
Disconnected. It was Catherine. What's the call sign? KE0VH. It looks like she's disconnected from the conference room. Big outrage, thank you.
Okay, John. Okay, I'll go ahead and get you as a check in there. All right. Any other repeater owners and or system operators at this time to check in? We take your check-ins first. Are you? Is there anybody else out there? Any system owners or repeater operators? Please call to check in now.
November 0 Kilo Mike. November 0 Kilo Mike. Mike 0, Victor Uniform Bravo, and 0 Victor United Bravo from the United Kingdom.
All right, I'm going to go with you four there. So we had Alpha Echo 7, Romeo Juliet, Victor Kilo 3, Hotel Juliet, Quebec, November 0, Kilo Mike, and Mike 0, Victor, Uniform Bravo. Back to the top of the list, and here's tonight's net question, guys. Tonight's net questions. I know last week you talked about how many computers you have in the ham shack. I happen to have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got one as a backup server down here, basically. Another one that's my main day-to-day operation computer right here. I've got my flight simulator computer down here, and I have my work laptop in here that also feeds this screen. So those are it. But tonight's net question is, what was your first computer ever? What was your first computer ever that you ever owned? Mine was a Texas Instruments TI-99A. Do you guys remember those? They play on a black and white TV with a little RF modulator, and I used it for learning a little bit of basic programming, nothing much more than that. I eventually wanted to use it for some ham radio applications, but of course those were few and far between, and you really had to be pretty heady to be able to program those things up for more than anything than be able to key a relay to send CW. And of course, reading CW would have been a real trick with those computers. But what was your first computer ever, and what did you use it for? So that's tonight's net question. Randall, what say you? AE7RJ from KE0VH. Okay, let me know, guys, on YouTube if you can hear the radio now.
Boy, that's a long time ago. Okay, I gotta ask you this question. The first computer I ever worked on, or the first computer I ever owned personally? Which are you asking for?
The first computer you ever owned, and what did you use it for? Randall, go ahead.
Okay. First computer I ever owned was a Commodore 64.
And that sounds like a toy, but it really wasn't, because I used it to write my thesis project because I was in college in those days. And it had BASIC built into it, but I had a Pascal compiler and a COBOL compiler because, I'm a dinosaur. And I tried to get a Fortran compiler to start, but it would never run, so I'm not sure how well that worked. And I was never able to get a C compiler to run on that thing. But I got into that later with my next computer. After that was a real PC, and I was able to do all sorts of things. But the first one was that Commodore 64, and I still have it here in a box somewhere. I ought to pull it out and turn it on and see what happens. So there we are. Y'all have a good evening. KE0VH.
Okay, Randall. Kat says not making it to analog down in Pueblo. Not sure what to tell you because it's linking in the system there, and it's linking in the system there. So, doggone, not sure, Kat. All right, Randall, very good. Yeah, Commodore 64. I remember those, of course. And, for you to still actually have it, holy smokes. That's amazing. Anyway, VK3HJQ, John down under. John, how in the world are you? And the very first computer you ever owned, what was it? And what did you use it for? So go ahead, John, VK3HJQ from KE0VH.
Well, good afternoon from down under 116 KE Valentine's Day. Actually, maybe a Valentine's little story. One year I was at work and I was late, and it was the 14th, and the guys and girls at work said, "You better buy your missus some chocolates for Valentine's Day." And I said, "No, what's that?" I said, "It's 5:30, all the shops will be closed." So I raced down the shop, got her a box of chocolate, and got it all wrapped up anyway. Got it home and gave it to her. She said, "Oh, what's the chocolates?" I opened it up, and half were missing. She said, "What's the go here?" I said, "I felt a bit peckish on the way home, didn't I?" Hang on, quick reset. Oh, boy. Last a minute, I'm like, our first computer, well, a micro V 16K, and remember, a whole 16K in memory, and I said,
Yeah, okay, John. Very good, very good. Buddy, you're a little overmodulated and kind of hard to understand. You Aussies down under speak real quick too, so it made it a little difficult to understand there. So you might want to slow up with us slow Americans a little bit there. So anyway, I'm getting a whole bunch of people in the chat window here. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube. I see there are 10 of you connected. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't done so already. And hopefully, everything looks like it's working from my end here. Let me see. Let me try this. Yeah, it looks like it's working on this end up here. All of those are working. All right. Thank you very much, John. Appreciate you being here, buddy. N0KM, talk about that Radio Shack TRS-80 Model 3, first computer you ever owned. What'd you use it for there, John? N0KM, down in the San Luis Valley from KE0VH.
KE0VH and N0KM. Well, I got it while I was living and working in Colorado Springs, and about the only thing I really used it for was game playing. But I only had it about a year and a half, and it was stolen out of my apartment. Unfortunately, I had insurance, and so I took the insurance money and paid for a car. Used one, of course, but then a while after that, the VIC-20 Commodore computer was out, a lot less expensive, and that was a good little computer as well. You had things you could interface between your radio and the computer there, and you provided your own television screen. So back to you, Jack. Watching you here on YouTube. KE0VH and that M0KM.
Yeah, okay, Dave, real good. That's really awesome. But too bad it got stolen. Holy smokes, that was not fun. And at that time, that was quite a ripoff, wasn't it? And thanks for watching there on YouTube. We've got 11 people on there right now. I appreciate that. It's kind of fun. Let's see. And I'm actually going to use this platform. The more I learn how to use it, to actually do some presentations with audio over the radio and of course YouTube. But we'll do some neat stuff with this as time goes on here. All right, Mike Zero Bravo, Victor Uniform Bravo. Is that correct? Mike Zero Victor Uniform Bravo. I saw you coming through on the status page at SkyHubLink.com through the Freestar Partner Hub Freestar Network. So are you there, sir? Mike Zero Victor Uniform Bravo from KE0VH. It's your turn.
And so, yeah, very good evening to you guys over there. Yeah, I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine over in New Zealand, and I was talking about is going to connect into the SkyHubLink, and I'm really sort of quite excited to sort of get connected up tonight. I want to assist on to the Freestar network, and I hope you don't mind us connecting up and sort of contributing to the net, hopefully. But yeah, really interested in sort of connecting up tonight and discovering the SkyHubLink. So brilliant stuff. If you take a look at the bubble map, it literally looks like two networks shaking hands right there. So anyway, yeah, very good evening to you all there. And my first computer was, believe it or not, I'm only 34 years old. So my first computer was an IBM PS2 running a 386 processor. It didn't have a CD-ROM drive, it was just a floppy disk. And running DOS, I think it was running DOS 5.2, I think it was. And I did actually eventually get Windows 3.1 put on it. So that was my first computer, the IBM PS2, which I think was popular over there in the United States as well. So there you go. Anyway, fantastic to sort of get connected up tonight. I hope you don't mind there. Anyway, back to you. Name is Shane, and the call sign is Mike Zero Victor Uniform Bravo. Back to you.
Well, Shane, thanks for being here tonight from across the pond there. And once again, we are streaming this on YouTube. If you go to the SkyHubLink.com website and go over to the Nets tab and then pull down to the Nets page and go to the Monday Night Net there on that page, you'll see a link in there that you can click on and see my smiling face. Anyway, I don't know about anything else with smiling face. I'll go that far. And on my rear computer monitor, I have I'm celebrating the Kansas City Chiefs tonight, and with my hat and everything else. So we're having a good time here. Thanks for being here, Shane, and we'll look for you again. This is the Monday Night SkyHubLink system-wide net. And once again on YouTube, the YouTube stream at the moment. So if you get a chance, check that out and hit my thumbs up button if you wouldn't mind. And the 11 of you who are watching tonight, thank you. That's a lot of fun to see. We're going to do a lot of stuff with this as time goes on, and once again do some ham radio presentations and some other things that I think would be a good thing to do here for the amateur radio community. So now let's go ahead and start taking regular check-ins. If you have a 0, 1, 2, or 3 in your call sign, a 0, 1, 2, or 3 in your call sign, let's get you checked in now for the Monday Night Net here on the SkyHubLink. 0, 1, 2, or 3 with your call sign phonetically twice. Please check in at this time.
Lima 2 Bravo Echo Zulu. Zulu Lima 2 Bravo Echo Zulu. Paul in Wellington, New Zealand.
Kilo Echo Zero Tango Papa Whiskey. Kilo Echo Zero Tango Papa Whiskey.
November 0 Zulu Zulu November. November 0 Zulu Zulu November. Kilo 2 Delta Yankee. Victor Kilo 2 Delta Yankee.
November Charlie 2 Whiskey X-Ray. November Charlie 2 Whiskey X-Ray.
Mike India Zulu. Kilo Echo 0 Mike India Zulu.
WD0 CIV. WD0 CIV.
Kilo Charlie 3 Papa Oscar Delta. Kilo Charlie 3 Papa Oscar Delta.
Okay, I think we'll go with that. All right, let me tell you who I heard that time. Zulu Lima 2, Bravo Echo Zulu. Hello, Paul. K0TPW, Joe down in the Springs. Let's see, November 0, Zulu November. Stephen in Leavenworth, Kansas. Robert down in Kellyville Ridge, New South Wales. November Charlie 2, Whiskey X-Ray. Gary and Pueblo West there, of course. Robert up in Wellington, K0MIZ. WD0CIV, Charles in Denver. KC3, Papa Oscar Delta. Anthony or Tony in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Let's go to the top of the list and talk to Paul. Zulu Lima 2, Bravo Echo Zulu. So, Paul, we're talking about what was the very first computer we ever owned, and what did you use for? The very first computer you ever owned, and what did you use it for? So a Zulu, Lima 2, Bravo, Echo, Zulu. Paul, go ahead from KE0VH.
Yeah, KE0VH. Jack said L2BEZ. Paul in Wellington, New Zealand. Yeah, very good there, Jack. The first one I had was called a Color Genie. It's color as in genie, like the thing you rub a lamp to get one out of. And that was a Hong Kong produced computer in the early days of the 1980s. And it was actually a very craftily designed TRS-80 clone. And I used that for basic programming and a bit of gaming and stuff like that in the old days. But that's one, if you look it up, you'll find a few references to it on the net. But it was an interesting thing, and you could actually run TRS-80 software on it with a few changes. So that was an interesting device in those days. But very much an 8-bit computer, that's for real. Anyway, back to you, Jack. There's a KE0VH, said L2BZ. Over.
All right, Paul, real good. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I'll have to try to look that one up. I figured that we were going to be hearing some about some stuff tonight that I had never heard of before. I actually did have one of those little Timex computers as well, the Timex 1000, but I never really used it. Never really had it functioning for anything. But my first one, as I mentioned earlier at the top of the net, was the Texas Instruments TI-99A. And that was kind of a neat machine. As a matter of fact, interesting story. The reason I bought that, it was $400 or $500 at the time. And I took out my very first loan. I took out my very first loan ever to buy that computer. And I had a friend of mine that worked in a loan agency. And so I got started with my credit that way. So there you go. K0TPW, Joe down in Colorado Springs. Good evening, Joe. Welcome to the net. What was the first computer you ever owned, and what did you use it for? Go ahead, Joe, from KE0VH.
Well, good evening, Jack. And Annette. You look good, Jack, and live in color there as you always do. I got my first computer, I guess, in 2004. I got a desktop computer, and I had it super up for me. I played with it for about 2 years, and the first thing I did with it was after 2004 was put Flight Simulator in it. Took it back down there and had them soup it up again, put as much RAM and everything in it so I could run that. And over the next 15 years, I loaded everything I could into it. That any kind of add-ons you could either buy or get free off the internet. So I played with that for like 20 years. And I just got rid of it last November. In fact, I kept it till last November. It finally just crashed. It was just been overhauled too many times, so I got rid of it. And I've got a nice HP desktop right now that I'm looking at you on, and I've got an HP Stream, a smaller one. But that was my first computer. It didn't even have a brand name. I don't know what name it was. It was an off the shelf desktop. But I kept it on. I took it in there all the time, had it fixed it, make sure it was all running good. Like I said, I put all the add-ons I could for 2004 Flight Simulator. I didn't have anything but a joystick. I didn't have a sonic quadrant or any of that kind of stuff. But I had fun with it, and I got my 20 years out of it, so I got my money's worth. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So everybody have a good week, and I'll turn it back over to Jack KE0VH. This is KE0TPW. Back to you, sir.
Okay, Joe, KE0TPW from KE0VH. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That reminded me, I did own a Radio Shack Coco 3, Color Computer 3 at one time. And we actually played some games on that, of course, loaded the, oh, you stupid thing. Loaded the, not you, Joe, my phone there. Load off the cassettes. Of course, it took a long time playing the cassette to load the program into the deal, but it was fun. Joe, thanks for being here tonight. November 0, Zulu, November. Stephen in Leavenworth, Kansas. We're talking about the first computers we ever owned and what we used them for. Stephen, what say you? Welcome to the SkyHubLink Monday Night System-Wide Net. This is KE0VH.
Good evening, everybody in earshot. Okay, you asked for it. Sherman sent away that machine about 1979. I had a Radio Shack PRS-80, and it was commonly referred to as a Trash 80. And the function I used it for, well, it had this great Star Trek game. You could warp around the galaxy and fire your phasers and your photon torpedoes. What a nice machine, that black and white monitor. And the thing I remember the most about it was how you saved your information to a cassette. And I remember two commands to this day, C-load and C-save. And that's about it. Sherman, bring us back to the current century. N0ZZ and back to net control.
No, man, that's awesome. I had never seen that one. Stephen. So very cool. Would have liked to have seen what that one looked like. May have to try to look that one up. All right, Stephen, thank you. Let's go to Robert down in Kellyville Ridge, New South Wales, Australia. VK2DY, we're talking about our very first computer, the first computer we owned, and what did we use it for? VK2DY from KE0VH. Go ahead, Robert.
VK2DY, Robert, indeed, in Kellyville Ridge. What is it? It's 20 degrees Celsius. It's cold for summer. And it is raining at the moment, pretty hard. So definitely a day to stay in. My first computer was a friend of mine who was an electrical engineer. I was in university. Built a Z80 based computer completely by scratch. He actually wired everything with wires. Pretty amazing piece of equipment for its day, I guess. But anyway, he built the thing. Had an old keyboard from a Univac put on the thing. It was an amazing little device. 64K of RAM, which was a lot back in the 70s. But anyway, it is what it is. It ran CPM and was
I think we had 2 disk drives on it, so very flash machine for its day. But he didn't have a use for it once he built it, so he gave it to me. So I ended up with it and used it for a few years. I had Word Star on it. I think that was the word processor. Had a Fortran compiler on it, which I could write Fortran programs on it. I had Basic, so I was learning some basic skills with that. It had, what's it have? Oh, it had Zork. Oh, I loved Zork. I played Zork a lot before I finally grew tired of it, drew maps and everything. It was a fun adventure game. Anyway, that's basically what I did with my first computer. Then I moved on to Commodore and Amiga. VK2DY, back to net.
Okay, Robert, VK2DY from KE0VH. Let's see, I'm trying to look at something here. I pulled up some other software. Man, I tell you, some of those things you guys are mentioning, I had not heard of before, and would love to be able to see those. That is really, really cool. So, Robert, thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate you as always. Of course, it's late morning for you down there in Australia. Let's talk to my good friend Gary, November Charlie 2, Whiskey X-Ray. N2WX. Welcome to the net, Gary. Your very first computer that you ever owned. What was it, and what did you start, or what did you use it for? NC2WX from KE0VH.
NC2WX, good evening, Ned, and thank you, Jack. Well, I was a bit of a latecomer, I think, to the computer world, but about 1985, I went to a Radio Shack or Tandy TRS-80 Model 100. Today, that thing would be known, I guess, as a tablet. That'd be the closest resemblance. It had a padded hard case for it, and initially had a 5.25-inch floppy drive, and I upgraded that to a 3.5-inch floppy, and had extension cords and power adapters and things in there, so I could operate it just about anywhere. The battery wasn't very good in the Model 100, and it came with 8K, yes, 8K of RAM. I ran it out to 32, I believe, was the max on there. So it's great. A rather feeble computer, but I used it at conferences, meetings, and at home. And then, of course, in the store, I had Tandy 1000 to do the bookwork and all those fun things. So anyway, yeah, a little while ago, and that was back in the good old days. Back to you, Jack, NC2WX.
Okay, Gary, very good. NC2WX from KE0VH. Yeah, that brought back a couple of memories as well. I figured that's going to happen this evening for sure. Gary, thanks for being there. Don't forget to catch Gary on the WeatherNet. Of course, every day, practically, except Sunday, I think, at about 1 o'clock. And Gary, appreciate you doing that. Hopefully we'll have some more news for people here as time goes on. KE0MIZ, Rob, how are you? Welcome to the net tonight. Your very first computer. What was it, and what did you do with it? KE0MIZ from KE0VH.
Yeah, good deal, Jack. This is KE0MIZ, and good evening to everybody on the net. And we're doing fine up there. Thanks for asking. My first computer is going to go back a few years here, 1986 or 87, I think. It was a Radio Shack Coco 2, a color computer 2, had 8K RAM. It's sitting over there in my bookshelf right now, waiting for me to drag it out and start playing with it later. So anyway, it had the cassette tape player for saving your programs on. Otherwise, when you turn the thing off, it was gone. It got the 300 baud modem pack, the expander pack for the game cartridges. I still got a box of game cartridges. And finally, I ended up getting a 5.25-inch floppy drive for it, 360K on that 5.25 floppy disk. and also the dot matrix printer. I primarily used it to practice programming in BASIC. I wrote a few programs for, budgets and whatnot, tracking my bills, but spent many hours debugging as well, trying to find out what comma you left out or what parentheses you put in the wrong place. So yeah, that was a challenge. But anyway, yeah, it was all fun. And like I said, I'm probably going to drag it out here and hook it up to the old black and white TV and see what we can do. I don't have a color TV CRT anymore. I just got a black and white one. But anyway, that's that. And I'll throw it back to you, Jack. Thanks for having me. KE0VH.
Okay, Rob, very good. Well, you know that you can, and now let's see, I totally lost my, oh, you can buy, TV modulators, on, of course, like everything else on Amazon. So, if you need to pick up one of those, they are ready, available. Oh, Tom, thanks. Tom says you look at home on YouTube. Well, I am at home, right here in, in the KE0VH Hamshack. But I appreciate that, Tom. Hopefully you'll check in here in a couple of minutes. Let's see. Ray is up in Toronto, Canada, watching on YouTube at the moment. Ray, appreciate that. And we'll have to see if we can't find out if there's a linkable repeater up there somewhere near you. But thanks for being here through the YouTube channel tonight. All right, next on the list is, did I skip? Oh, Ken, you can kick me later, now and later if you want. Both. K0UZ, I am so sorry. I've got you on the list farther up here. K0, you said, and Ken may actually take the Monday Night Net next week, as I have something to be doing on Monday. Ken, go ahead. Welcome to the net. Your first computer, and what did you use it for? K0UZ from KE0VH. And again, I'm sorry, I skipped right over you there. Go ahead, Ken.
Jack KE0VH. No, you didn't skip over me. I think I doubled with someone, actually. Well, the first one, 1978. Talk about a Wayback Machine. I was working with WRFM in New York, and we were developing a something called an SCA system, some carrier authorization system on the FM for transmitting data. And also Muzak was transmitting background music. So I had done a design with a Z80. So Robert, you're not alone. And I liked it so much I wanted background music in the house. So I did another one and set it up in the house. So that was actually the first computer that I actually owned. It was the one that I built with a Z80 and a C compiler on it. It was top drawer. But as far as a retail kind of machine, the very first one was an original Apple, and I had paid extra to have the full 16K of memory and dual floppy drives. I mean, I thought that was really top shelf. But that was the first retail one, and I enjoyed it, and I passed it on later in life to my niece and nephew, and as far as I know, they're still using it, still playing with it. They're having a good time. So back to you, Jack. K0VH, K0UZ.
Ken, thanks for being here tonight, and kind of listen how the net runs here, and I'll send you a net script and we'll talk. Ken, maybe your net control next week, because once again, I have something to do next Monday and don't know if I'd be home in time for the net or whatever the case may be. So, Ken, I appreciate you volunteering for that, and we can give Bucky a night off, and I'll team you up with Kat, W0KPH. Kat does net logger for us, and we really appreciate that. So thanks for being here, and you and I will definitely talk later, sir. All right, WD0CIV, Charles in Denver. Charles, welcome to the net. What was the first computer you ever owned, and what did you use it for? WD0CIV from KE0VH.
Alrighty, yeah, this is WD0CIV. Let's see, the first computer I got was an Apple machine with the 2 drives, and it was the one just before they switched over to Macintosh. The reason I bought it is the wife was doing theoretical physics and calculus, and she needed a computer to get all the papers done and all that good stuff and print them out. And let's see, they went to the Macintosh, and all the software that you used to use on your Apple, whatever they called it, Apple 1, Apple 2, I don't remember the model numbers. But anyway, none of that software would work on a Macintosh, which kind of made me mad. And I said, well, forget Apple. And to this day, I've never bought anything Apple. And I went over and bought an IBM, one of the first IBM computers. And so I got her convinced that she needed to come over and use that computer. And then I used it for ham logging and all kinds of stuff with ham radio. But anyway, right now we're using an HP I bought during the pandemic because Billy Gates' upgrade decided to destroy one of my machines. And I finally got that one back to working fairly well. But anyway, it was a Toshiba real heavy unit. And I still have the Apple machine and the 5 1/4 disc, the 3 1/2, whatever they call 3 1/2 inch disc, and for IBM, and so anyway, I've got all the drives and stuff still here. I don't know why I save all that stuff. So if you guys need any boards or anything to plug into the old desktop IBM stuff, don't go shopping around, just come by the house and pick one out. Anyway, this is WD0CIV. We're going to turn it back to net control. Take it over, Jack.
Okay, Charles. Very good. Very good. Yeah, you know, guys, Charles has a veritable museum at his house. He really does. As a matter of fact, he and I did an amplifier trade here a while back. As a matter of fact, for those of you watching on YouTube, let me spin the camera around there. Charles and I traded amplifiers, and the Yaesu FL2100B that you see right there is the amplifier that I got from Charles. We traded a Heathkit amplifier over to him for that. Then I have my MFJ tuner and, of course, the FT991A that's there at the moment. So very, very cool, Charles. But he has a veritable museum there. And if you ever need something, you might give him a call and ask him, because more than likely he might have it. All right, last on this list is Kilo Charlie 3 Papa Oscar Delta KC3POD. Wow, thanks for your patience, and welcome to the SkyHubLink Monday night system-wide net. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'm going to step away and actually be on the handheld for just a minute. So I will be right back. But KC3POD, let's go ahead and get you in here tonight. Anthony in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Go ahead. It's your turn. Actually, I think I'll wait a minute. Should have brought some water down with me. Okay, it looks like he's going to be gone. Kilo Charlie 3 Papa Oscar Delta. Are you there, Anthony in Pottsville, Pennsylvania? All right, Kat, let's go ahead and put in Ray, Romeo Alpha Yankee, Victor Alpha 3, Romeo Charlie India. He can't seem to get his radio to work with a repeater, evidently, that we're on from the CNN tower, I guess in Toronto, Canada. So Ray, Victor Alpha 3, Romeo Charlie India, if you'd go ahead and put him in number 17 there. We are on Net Logger, so you can kind of see who's checked in and follow along with that. If you get in there and look for the SkyHubLink system net. All right, let's go ahead and take another round of check-ins. This time we're looking for 4, 5, and 6s. 4, 5, and 6s who would like to check into the net tonight. Please call now with your call sign and only your call sign phonetically twice. 4, 5, or 6s. Call now. This is KE0VH. Okay. All right. Kat, I'm sorry. Number 17 needs to be Victor Alpha 3 Tango India Papa. He sent me a correction there. Victor Alpha 3 Tango India Papa and number 17. All right. I heard Kilo Charlie 4 Zulu Yankee Charlie. Howard, good evening. Kilo Oscar 4 Uniform Bravo Bravo. Kilo Charlie. Let's see. November 5 Alpha Quebec 9 Mike. So we'll go with you guys. Let's start with Kilo Oscar 4 Uniform Bravo Bravo. Jim down in Fort Myers. Jim, good evening. Welcome to the net. Your first computer ever. And what did you use it for? Go ahead from KE0VH. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll be right back. I got to get some water.
Yeah, I didn't really get my first PC until around 1995. I actually got it originally for my daughter for schoolwork, but she used it after a while. I sort of associated it for my own use. Basically, just learn how to do the computer, work with the computer, and play some games. And really got a kick out of the digital encyclopedias and whatnot. It was an old IBM Aptiva with a 486 processor, MS-DOS with Windows, I think 3.0 perhaps. Very little of any storage, maybe like 540 megabytes or something of that way. It was very basic, but you know, it served its purpose. And the thing that really I remember, of course, is hooking up the phone line to the 56K modem. Which just had the one thing. So of course, whenever that was hooked up to the computer and then it was online, no one could make a phone call. And sometimes that was kind of problematic, and we had quite a few arguments till we finally get a line in. But it was a good computer, and then later, today I use an Apple. But that piece was a really nice computer. I remember an old.
All right, then. Thanks, Jim. I listened to you on the handheld. Those of you who have YouTube on see that I disappeared for a minute, but I had to get something to drink. The throat's getting dry there. Anyway, Jim, thanks for being here tonight. Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu Yankee Charlie, Howard down in Florida, too. Howard, you still got to get that QRZ address changed. Let's see. Howard, why don't you go ahead? We're talking about our very first computer that we ever owned. And what we used it for. Go ahead and welcome to the net from KE0VH.
KC0VH. Yeah, thanks for the reminder on QRZ there, Jack. Haven't forgotten. I'm dealing with some personal issues. I suffered hearing loss in my left ear at the end of January, and I'm working with an ear doctor to alleviate that. And he originally put me on prednisone, 20 milligram tablets, and that still doesn't work. So I'm due back this coming Friday after doing an MRI locally to see if there's anything serious that might have been overlooked. Hopefully not. The acoustic neuroma, which is a benign tumor, has been ruled out. My doctor's thinking it's more of a nerve problem than anything else. But anyway, MRI Wednesday, and then go back to the doctor Friday, and then he's going to try some higher dose injections of prednisone, and hopefully that will clear the problem up. So right now I can only hear the right ear. Let me go ahead and reset. KC4YC. Wow, great topic for the night. Yes. Well, let me take the Wayback Machine back to the early 1980s. And back in those days, I was living on the east coast of Florida. My family was, anyway, including my brother and myself, my parents. And we ended up getting as our first computer an Apple II computer with the floppy drive and 48K of RAM inside the machine, the dot matrix printer. And we just use it for basic tasks, some word processing here and there, mostly playing games, but nothing really major because I really couldn't do all that much, and I had to learn AppleSoft, Apple Basic, and discover what peek, poke, and call commands were in terms of AppleSoft at the time. So yeah, it was pretty neat. Somewhere along the line, we also got a TRC color computer with a cassette drive, and that was quite interesting. And I had to learn how to use the Z80 processor and write in very basic language. But yeah, boy, those were the days. They bring back a lot of good memories for sure. But boy, have times changed, as I'm sure you know. KE0VH, KC Boards and YC Orlando.
Yeah, okay, Howard. Well, my best to you, and take care of yourself there. And I hope everything gets corrected. That sounds a little tough there. That indeed would be difficult. So hang in there, brother, and we'll say a prayer for you, and appreciate it. Those of you watching on the YouTube stream, once again, we are on YouTube with the net tonight, right here live in the KE0VH Hamshack. So you can see what us net controls do while we're doing a net, which is mostly just sitting back and listening, right? But anyway, glad to have you guys in there. I've got 14 on at the moment. If you haven't smashed that thumbs up button, please do so. I'd really appreciate that. And I want to have some fun with this, but actually use it for some practicality down the road here. All right, let's see. Next on my list, let's see, who have we got next on NetLogger here? Is Mike in Chandler, Arizona. Mike, welcome. November 5 Alpha, Quebec, Mike. The question of the night, Mike, is what was your very first computer and what did you use it for? So a November 5 AQM from KE0VH.
Yeah, KE0VH M5AQM. Mike here in dark Chandler, Arizona. We're going to have some weather tonight. It's going to go down to about 35, and tomorrow night it's going to get even colder, down to about 30. So we'll take it. We love the cold weather here in the desert while we can get it, because it doesn't happen in the summer at all. So anyway, to answer the group question, the first computer was an IBM PC XT. It wasn't made by IBM. It might have been made by Gateway or something like that. It had two 360K floppies, and I think that was it. Other than what you could load onto it. But we used it primarily to do satellite tracking to talk to U2MIR, and also primarily to run our PK232 that we had. We were really into PAC4 back in the day, and it was fabulous. I don't know why that all went away. Really enjoyed it. And I still have both of them. I haven't used it yet, the HitKit version of it. And I have the 88 version of it also. So there you go, Jack. And hope everybody's doing well out there. And greetings from the desert southwestern tonight from S5AQM.
Mike, thank you very much. N5AQM from KE0VH. A couple of things to comment on. One, I certainly would like. I'm done with winter, man. I am so over winter. I was talking with my boss earlier today, and we've got another fairly decent snowstorm. It looks like coming into Colorado here over the next couple of days, and it's like I am done with it. I wish it were back in the 80s and 90s, and I just I just wish that that it could be summer now. The problem with winter in Colorado is it usually lasts from about the 1st of November till the middle or end of May, even the 1st of June in a couple of occasions. So I'm done, man. I am so done. So you say it's getting cooler down there. It's 47 outside the KE0VH Hamshack here. So anyway, great to hear you tonight, Mike. Thanks for being here. All right, let's take 7, 8, and 9s. 7, 8, and 9 in your call sign to check in at this time. Welcome to the SkyHubLink Monday night system-wide net. We are on YouTube tonight, live from the KE0VH Hamshack. here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. And we're celebrating the Chiefs' victory in the Super Bowl last night. My condolences to the Eagles fans out there, and better luck next year. But I'm hoping the Broncos are going to do well next year too. We'll see with that new head coach, Sean Payton, and see what he can bring to the Broncos. So with that, let's go ahead and get you checked in. If you have a 7, 8, or 9 in your call sign only phonetically twice, please to check in. Please call now. This is KE0VH.
King Charles, hey, I am coming from here. Whiskey 8, King Charles 8, body line mixer. King Charles 8, Fox Queen, Mr. Jack.
Okay, copy KC8FQV, and Mark, your audio's really overdriven there. But are there any other 7, 8s, and 9s? 7, 8, and 9s who would like to check in? We're taking you now. Please call now. This is K0VH.
Kilo Delta Niner Golf Hotel Oscar. KD9 GHO.
All right. Well, Mark and Stuart, it looks like you guys are going to be the only ones from the 7, 8, and 9 area, KC8FQV and KD9GHO, Stu in Chicago there. So KC8FQV, Mark, good evening. The topic tonight is, what was your very first computer? What was your very first computer, and what did you use it for? KC8FQV from KE0VH, welcome to the net from KE0VH.
All right, well, for the audio, so hi, KCF TV. First one we had was the Commodore VIC-20, and I didn't use it for a lot. I did write a program, a math program. I was in school. The one guidance counselor worked with me, and I did a program where it was, I can't recall how we did it or what we did was exactly, but it was a math program to add numbers and that. Other than that, that was the first one. Then I think we went up to an Epson X41. That was like in '86. My dad had a real estate. We used to have a dumb terminal, and it was a paper dumb terminal, and we had to replace it. We had to get a new computer, and we could have gotten a dumb terminal. And one of the other guys in the office said, "Well, we're spending like $1,700 on a dumb terminal. Why don't we spend a couple $100 more and get a computer?" When we got the X41, we had that, and then it went on from there. That was in '86, and the Commodore VIC-20 was well, that was back in the '80s. That was like '81 or '82, '81 probably, maybe in '80. And our school system went with them, because they didn't know what to do exactly. They were brand new. They didn't know exactly what to do. They were just buy a computer for each grade. As each grade stepped up, we're going to keep buying computers and that for the first grade and put into their network. And they kept going around. They bought VIC-20s. That's what we started with. That's what I started with. We had a couple of 64s in high school. So, it's just interesting when we started thinking about computers. But, yep, I had the VIC-20. That was a neat thing. Back in that, it comes, Jack, KCF TV.
Okay, Mark. Okay, very good. Yeah, it's Vic 20. I hadn't thought about that one in a while either. So good for you. Thanks for being here tonight. By the way, Ray VA3 TIP. Go ahead and put in your search engine how to program a Baofeng UV5R. From the front panel, go ahead and put that in there. There's a lot of things in there. Some YouTube videos, ham radio guides, how to manually program the UV5R for the keypad. There's plenty of information in there. I do have some software that I use for that. As a matter of fact, I use Chirp for that and a Baofeng cable. I don't have a Baofeng anymore. But I've kept the cable in case somebody around needed some help, and we could do that. So, anyways, plenty of instructional videos there. Ray up in Canada watching on YouTube. So check that out. All right, KD9GHO. Stuart, how are you in Chicago? And man, my wife and I were visiting Chicago for one day a few weeks ago. We're up to visit the grandkids in West Lafayette, Indiana. So we drove up to Chicago and visited the Little Sisters of the Poor home there in North Chicago. Drove back down the riverfront, and it was a windy, gray, cloudy day. What else is new in Chicago, right? And thought of you as I was driving through there, but it was beautiful, even though it was gray, cloudy, and windy. But we're talking tonight, Ray, about what was our very first computer ever. And what did we use it for? So KD9GHO, Stuart, go ahead from KE0VH. Welcome to the net.
Good evening, Jack, and the rest of the net. KE0VH, this is KD9GHO. Well, I had to think about that question. My very first computer that I owned was, at the time, an advanced clone of the IBM 5150, and it had the highly advanced 8088 processor in it. And I had a boot disk, and I had a data disk, and one of those crazy internal modems that would keep you up at night with the sound it made. Used it mostly for bulletin boards. I was into bulletin boards back in those days. We're talking the middle 80s. And you still had to program it and operate it using command line and DOS programs. Oh, you take me back so far, John. But that was the very first one for me on this end. I kind of missed it, although it was so slow. By the time I finished this QSO, I would have wouldn't have gotten anything done. From that, I moved up to one with the glorious 80286 processor, and that one was a little better. That's it for me. Back to you, Jack. 73 KD9GHO.
Hey, very good, Stu. Very good. KD9GHO from K0VH. Once again, a couple of memories struck there. By the way, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget this. Back up when Mike in 5AQM there, you were talking about a lot of Pactor use, and this is something I wanted to say. You can do HF and VHF email now via a couple of really neat software systems, WinLink Express and the Sound Modem sound card software. There's a lot of YouTube videos on that. I think I'm going to make that a subject of the net one night when I learn how to use all this YouTube stuff really well. And as I knock stuff over behind me. But anyway, something to talk about there. And Stuart, thanks for being here from Chicago. All right, we'll do a couple of more check-ins rounds here before the net is done. Any place, any number in your call sign, anywhere, any mode. If you'd like to check in the net, by the way, somebody says you dropped off the do drop in. I have no control over that, so they may have disconnected from us. So there you go on that. All right. Once again, we are on YouTube. and you can go to the Nets page at SkyHubLink.com and click on the link. And there I am. So if you get a chance to check into that, that would be cool. Appreciate that. But now, if you have any number in your call sign, it don't matter which number, let's get you checked in for tonight's Monday night SkyHubLink system-wide net. Your call sign phonetically twice. This is KE0VH.
Kilo Echo Zero, Yankee Alpha Kilo. Kilo Echo Zero, Yankee Alpha Kilo.
Is that going to be it?
Zero Zulu Zulu Sierra. Whiskey Zero Zulu Zulu Sierra.
Okay, I heard Kilo Echo Zero, Yankee Alpha Kilo, and W0ZZS. By the way, we lose 449-450 locally here in the Denver metro area. Yeah, Cat, that's about to fall over. It's a Miami Dolphins, Stein. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, we'll lose 449-450 here at about 8:26. Don't forget, we are on 447.050 in the Denver metro area, covering the downtown and metro area here on SkyHubLink. If you are monitoring that repeater and want to hang on with us afterwards, although we do try to close the net at 8:30. So KE0YAK W0ZZS. Let's go ahead and get you in here right now. KE0YAK. James, good evening. Welcome to the SkyHubLink Monday Night System-Wide Net. We're talking about our very first computer. What did you own and what did you use it for? This is KE0VH. Go ahead, Jim.
Very first computer was built by someone when I was in grad school. And it was a IBM 8, I don't even know what it was. And we built it at my place, and then I compared it to a Mac. It beat the Mac in flops when they used to do flops. But then, later on, I ended up getting a Mac. I didn't understand it, so I became a Mac enthusiast, and I can't do those things. But it was a Windows 80, 86 or something like that. And this man, who was a test pilot in Monterey, California, he came over to my house. I met him, and we started building a computer. He taught me how to build a computer. And that was my first computer that I had was in grad school. And that was in 1994, I believe. So that was my first computer. It was fantastic. And then somehow I went to make because of the viruses I got. KE0YK, back to the next.
Yeah, okay, James. KE0YAK, KE0VH. We've had a few people say that they used some Macs and Apples in there, so that's pretty cool. There's a great YouTube video. I'll have to try to find it and send it out to you guys. That'll make you crack up some British humor. That was reminding me of there. W0ZZS. Welcome to the SkyHubLink Monday Night System-Wide Net. We're talking about the very first computers we ever used and what we used them for. So go ahead and welcome to the net tonight. Harold in Pueblo, what you got?
Thank you, and I'm looking on the net. I tried to hold the button on this handheld in long enough. I may have to use two hands for holding it kind of tight. Yeah. That brings back a lot of memories. My first computer was a radio set, QRS-80, the radio set QRS-80. And I learned to program in BASIC and eventually got Power Basic compiler and developed some business programs and MS-DOS Power Basic. And so then eventually we went into Windows and switched over to some Windows programming there. But that's basically what I used it for was I'm trying to think. If I wrote a program for my personal use, it probably would have been a database of some kind, but it's been too many years ago. Anyway, back over to you, W0. That's the next over.
Yeah, okay, Harold. Yeah, so many people had that realistic TRS-80 and other Radio Shack variants there. I think it's their first computer a lot. By the way, guys, put in YouTube British comedy BlackBerry not working. If you haven't seen this, you'll be laughing your butt off. It's so funny. British comedy BlackBerry not working on YouTube. You got to check that out when you get a chance. All right, let's go ahead and take another round of check-ins here. Any number in your call sign, any place, anywhere. Let's get you checked in tonight before we close the net out. Once again, with your call sign and only your call sign phonetically twice. Call KE0VH.
KE0VH Jackson, this is JA1 WLQ Juliet Alpha 1 Whiskey Lima Quebec JA1 W for Whiskey L for Lima Q for Quebec JA1 WLQ from Tokyo, Japan. May I check in, please? Kilo Charlie 6, Uniform Quebec Tango. Kilo Charlie 6, Uniform Quebec Tango.
Okay, very good. Let's see. I got Japan, America 1, Whiskey, Lima, Quebec, in Tokyo there. Domo arigato. Yokosa, thank you very much for checking in with us tonight. Or is it Irashimais? Welcome. We're glad to have you here tonight. And Kilo Charlie 6, Uniform, Quebec Tango. All right, let's go with you two for this round. And Masaki in Tokyo, welcome to the net. I won't try to mispronounce your language again, but JA1WLQ, we're talking about the very first computer that we ever owned and what we did with it. So welcome to the net from KE0VH.
KE0VH Jackson, this is JA1WLQ. Masaki, yes, Masa in short, speaking. And thank you very much for taking my check-in, and good evening to everyone in this room. And well, Jackson, you picked up the very good subject, yes. Well, first, as for time in Japan, it is 18 minutes after 12 noon, mid-noon, and mid-noon on Tuesday afternoon, February 14th. And yes, the very first PC I used is the VAIO, VAIO. This is company supply, and so I use it for the own business in the office for emailing, and also what is it for Word and PowerPoint, and also what is Excel. So for calculation, so yeah, this is Microsoft Office. The main purpose or main tools I use for business. but I was so impressed with the email capability and function. Exactly, it can I can communicate with anyone quickly. All the world. That was I was so excellent. I was so impressed with it. Well, and also, I just turned on the radio about 30 minutes ago, and everyone in this room came to everyone has been coming to Japan with very clear audio, very fine, and everyone's audio is very crisp. Now back to the next. This is JA1WLQ to KE0VH. Thank you very much, and also wishing you 73 to everyone, and thank you very much, Jackson. Now back to net. Over.
All right, very good, very good. Irashai, Masaki-san. Thank you, Domo arigato, very much for being here and for making this part of your day. And we'll look forward to hearing you again here on the SkyHubLink. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed listening to what you had to say there. And yes, I'm familiar with VIO. I have seen those, and of course, some really great equipment there. All right, Kilo Charlie 6, Uniform Quebec Tango. It's your turn, Craig, in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Craig, how are you down there? Haven't heard you in a while. And your very first computer, what was it? What did you use it for? Kilo Charlie 6, Uniform Quebec Tango from KE0VH.
Well, that's an easy one. The very first computer, KC60 was back in 1980. We used it for business purposes. It was compact, suitcase-sized computer where you laid it on the desk and the bottom of it popped off, and that was the keyboard. It had 2 floppy drives, 5 1/4, and no hard drive because we couldn't afford the extra $1,000 for the 10 kilobyte hard drive. Boy, I think I'd give that away to a friend of mine in Las Vegas. KC60OQ, take it back to net.
All right, KC6UQT from KE0VH. I want to remind everybody tonight about the Rocky Mountain Radio League. Club Net will be on 449-450 and 146.94 coming up here at 8:30 this evening. And it looks like 449-450 may have already changed over. So don't forget, we're on the 447.050 repeater in Denver. We also have 447.100 that's going to be covering Denver from up on Mount Chief and has a really terrific signal, but we do not have it connected in yet. That is coming, so everybody stand by. And why am I having trouble with the Colorado Springs analog repeater? Don't know, but we'll keep up with it there. All right, one more round of check-ins. We'll go ahead and take one last round, any place, anywhere, any number, and your call sign, and then we're going to call it a net tonight. 27 check-ins so far. If you'd like to check in and have not at this time, please call now with your call sign and only your call sign phonetically twice. This is KE0VH.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Bravo India. Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Bravo India.
Whiskey Bravo 4 Alpha India Zulu. Whiskey Bravo 4 Alpha India Zulu.
Well, all right then. WB for GBI. Tim, how are you, man? And WB for AIZ. AIZ, I think we'll let you have the last word tonight. But Tim, how in the world are you out there in Tennessee? WB for Bravo for there, Cat in line 27, Golf Bravo, India. Tim, how are you? Welcome to the net. And your very first computer ever was what was it and what'd you use it for? WB4 GBI from KE0VH.
Evening, Jack, and everybody on the net. It's been a while since I've been able to check in. Thanks for letting me check in tonight. My first computer was in the mid-'80s. It was an IBM PC. It had two drives because I couldn't afford the hard drive either. Used it for mostly word processing and maybe an occasional game. That would have been probably, I got married in 1985, probably somewhere around 1986. It's been a while. Back to that, WB4 GBI.
All right, Tim. Well, it's great to hear you there in Tennessee. Thanks for putting us up on the Eastern Tennessee system there, and have a great night, my friend. We'll look forward to hearing from you again. All right, Whiskey Bravo 4, Alpha India Zulu. I think we're going to let you have the last word tonight on the SkyHubLink Monday night system-wide net. So what remarks do you have for us tonight, Charles, in Kansas City, Florida? WB4 AIZ from KE0VH.
This is WB4 AIZ on SkyHubLink. Well, I guess it's very fitting on the Kilo and Charlie hi, and I'm just getting ready to just lay down and get ready to call it a night. So, cool tonight. Computer-wise, I had a truly revolutionary system of the 80s. I had a TRS-80 Model 1 4K basic unit, which was a subset, well, it was a limited version of basic. And I was so new to it, you know, I had to order it. It had to come into a local radio shack so I can pick it up. And I was mostly into bulletin boards. Remember those? Bulletin boards, and I actually did a little bit of machine language programming on the TRS-80. I got the expansion box, and I ended up with two floppy drives, and two floppy drives, and both of them were, I had the notcher so I could use the 5 1/4. I could notch out the disc to use both sides. Anyways, I think I sold that to a friend of mine. I've gone through the Amiga and PC and that type of thing. So right now all I've got is my cell phone. I'm in an assisted living facility. So anyways, so thank you for letting me in. Before I see.
All right, Charles, thank you very much. Appreciate you being there in Kansas City, Florida tonight. And we let you have the last word. 28 check-ins tonight. Thanks, guys. And for those of you who watched on YouTube, we sure appreciate you doing that. I think we had a maximum of 15 in there tonight. So, or maybe 19. I can't remember. Anyway, thanks. I appreciate you being there. This has been The SkyHubLink Monday Night System-Wide Net. Thanks as always to Skylar, W0SKY, the Chief Engineer, and Jeremy, W0JRL, our System Engineer for all the work on the SkyHubLink linking system. The Rocky Mountain Radio League, the Denver Water Amateur Radio Club, the Denver Radio League, the N2K and K Wesco Repeater System, Steve, KD0SBN, Randall, AE7RJ, Richard, VE5RH, and all the other systems and operators on SkyHubLink. Very special thank you to Kat, W0KPH, for spotting and logging. If you'd like to be on the email list, be sure to go to skyhublink.com, click on the Join Connect tab for instructions. Go to my webpage at KE0VH.com and scroll down the page for information on the net, the SkyHubLink, and my newsletter, the KE0VH Hamshack. So with that, we'll be wrapping up tonight's net and return all systems to normal amateur use. Don't forget Burness tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with the Colorado Amateur Astronomy Net, and look forward to that. So 73, have a great night. We'll look for you next week. This is KE0VH. Live long and prosper.